Hello and welcome to Fit Life Radio, the place where you can learn a little bit more about how your body works and find new ways to improve your health. I'm your host Petio, and I hope to provide you with as much valuable information and inspire you to become a better version of yourself. Mic check, let's get started. Welcome to another episode of Fit Life Radio, guys. I hope you're doing great and your day is fantastic so far. In today's very special 7th episode of Fit Life Radio, you may know actually that 7 is the lucky number, so maybe you can expect some miracles from this episode. This episode is so special because we're going to talk today about awareness. And why awareness is so special? Well, I think awareness is one of the ways to actually be able to really improve your quality of life and actually find a way to change yourself really for good. Because I know we talked a few episodes ago, we talked about the 5 pillars of fit life, and it's true that if you look at nutrition, if you look at movement or activity, or if you look at sleep, these are probably one of the most important aspects or parts that you can change, or you can try to do something about them in order to improve your quality of life. Or these are the biggest bangs for your buck, pretty much. Like, if you actually look at them and change them, you're gonna get the most amount of results. However, I think awareness is very important because it combines all those stuff and makes you it teaches you how to properly implement them, and rather than feeling like you're supposed to do something or you're restricting something, it shows you more that there is a better way to just approach nutrition, or a better way to approach like activity, and it just makes life a little bit easier. It makes change a little bit easier, and more kind of like it gives more meaning to change. And in order to explain you what I mean by this, I'm gonna kind of like start from there. So let's imagine a person who is a victim of the modern lifestyle, right? So I know how that sounds really funny, but actually it's very true. Like, a victim of the modern lifestyle is someone who doesn't care about what he puts in his body in terms of food, doesn't care how his body really feels, someone who does not prioritize sleep at all, and watch maybe, like, I don't know, play video games all night long, and he doesn't care about sleep at all. Someone who and as victim, as like talking about victim of the modern lifestyle, means like someone is not moving at all, someone is like choosing to stay like in this rounded posture, or this like sitting kind of like bad posture all day long. And part of it is, of course, because our life kind of today requires it, or requires us to be in this position. But that person, that victim of the modern lifestyle, it's that victim lacks self-awareness. It lacks kind of like motivation for change. And let's imagine that victim somehow like listen Fit Life Radio and find out how important is nutrition, food, and sleep, and activity, and all those stuff. And let's say that person decides to change them. Like, if that person is not self-aware, if that person is not cannot acknowledge really how his body feels and find out the signals that his body gives him, he's never actually going to be able to change. Because let's say he really focus on nutrition and he download maybe free healthy eating guide and starts from there and follow it to a T, and like start cooks his own food instead of ordering burgers and fries all the time. uh, it's great, it's a very good start, and for sure that person is gonna see a lot of benefits, but um, he needs that self-awareness to be able to notice the changes that are following. He needs that awareness to be able to understand like what's gonna happen after he switches, or she switches. I mean, I'm sorry for using just the word him. Just, I mean, let's imagine someone, him or she, he or she, whatever. Uh, that person is going to feel like is going to feel restricted, is going to feel obliged to do certain stuff, or to not enjoy certain foods, just because um, the way the way their life were so far was just not, I mean, they were not aware at all. They were just like, um, they were used to a certain way without actually thinking what can be better. And even though they try to change it, they would just think of it as a restriction, and restriction is not really sustainable. Like, everybody who's been on a strict diet probably knows that it's really not very sustainable in long term to be restricted from whatever, right? To not have a choice. And same could be with activity. I mean, in fact, if you don't acknowledge the benefits that come with activity, like, you would feel like punishment. You will feel like you have to go and hammer yourself or beat yourself up in the gym because of the fact that you just ate, like, I don't know, like yesterday you ate burger and fry and stuff like that. So tomorrow you're gonna have to go and like run 1 hour and a half on the treadmill and just like burn all those calories. Which, this, if you're not self-aware, if you don't know how you feel, if you can't acknowledge the changes that are happening while you're following kind of your body needs, you will never be able to create a sustainable lifestyle changes. So you will never be able to uh, to be fit, to be truly fit, because to be truly fit means not to restrict, means not to hammer yourself, means not to do all those stuff because you're supposed to do or because you have to do. It's To be fit means to acknowledge the fact that your body or your life, it's better if you do the effort to 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 put all those things in your life, and to actually being able to say, no, I don't want this piece of cake, instead of, no, I can't have this piece of cake, like, to be able to say, hey, I really need to go to the gym, I really want to go to the gym and like uh, get some more activity, or like I really feel like I need to go out and move around because I feel stuck here and like my body is kind of crying for a bit of movement, rather than, oh man, like, today's the day, like I really need to go to the gym. My trainer says that today is a push day, but I really don't feel it, man. I hate it. I know I have to go there and I have to struggle, and the soreness after that, and no, 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 this is really not nice. Like, I really rather watch my TV show and just like stay laying down, or like play the game that I like to play so much, which there is nothing wrong with like enjoying all those stuff, but it's very important to acknowledge how your body feels, and to acknowledge the fact that it's important to be in, not in peace, but like to be a whole with our body, right? Because yeah, it's nice to do all those stuff, but it's nice to have pleasure, it's nice um, to do nothing all day long, but finally, are we really truly living? Like, are we actually enjoying the benefits of life? Like, are we being able to go out and play when we really want to play, or when someone is asking us to play? Because I mean, sitting all day is not really going to help us with that. So my point here is that if that victim of the modern lifestyle becomes a little bit more self-aware, and actually being able to notice how the body feels when he's prioritizing sleep, and when he's not, uh, this is really going to help him actually put more effort into those stuff. Because like if you're able um, to acknowledge that, uh, hey, drinking a little bit less coffee, it's not as fun, but in fact I do feel way better, and I am able to sleep way better, uh, like the night after, and therefore the next day, I'm more rested, I have more energy, I do better choices, and I have actually, more energy to be active, and I feel great about it. Well, this is it. This is being self-aware. This is being able to notice that certain stuff are working better than some others. Certain stuff have more value than just pleasure or just comfort. See what I mean? So, um, this is why awareness is such an important aspect, and it's something that can bring and combine all those aspects together, and actually like kind of gives them, like give them meaning, give them like a reason to be pursued. Like I said, nobody wants to be restricted, nobody wants to be forced to do something. But if you acknowledge the facts, then you will find the motivation yourself. You wouldn't need someone to restrict you or someone to push you to the gym. So this can highly benefit your lifestyle, because um, maybe I should kind of give you like a couple more examples, but I think this can highly benefit your lifestyle, and kind of improve your quality of life, because or our quality of life. Like we're all, I don't know why I don't include myself. I apologize for that. Um, just like, I mean, awareness is a struggle for a lot of people, and it's not that easy. Awareness is a skill that we kind of learn and we improve day by day, but it's important to acknowledge, and it's important to start from somewhere. So if I give you an example, let's look at um, let's look at food, right? Like, just because everything is labeled like food, it doesn't mean that it's great for your body, right? um, but the unaware person is just going to eat whatever. It's just going to, um, maybe kind of like heard from here and there that it's nice to cook your food, and it's not nice to order all the time and to eat fast food, and fast food is bad, and it has a lot of trans fats and blah blah blah. So yeah, let's try to eat a little bit more healthy lifestyle, and let's try to do it ourselves. But the unaware person, anyway, like everybody's gonna try to have a little bit of different type of pleasure anyway. Like someone is gonna try maybe like a new type of food, or someone is gonna go and feel like burgers today, so why not having a burger? The the unaware person is going to have it, and then it's gonna feel terrible the next day, because of course, I mean, if let's say the unaware person was gluten intolerant, but he didn't know about it, uh, he's gonna have gut issues for a couple days, for or several days after. But the unaware person is gonna say like, oh, something bothers me. I don't know. It's like, um, I don't understand. Like maybe, mm, I need some sort of a pill or something that's gonna stop my kind of like the diarrhea I have, or I have for some reason, like I have a back pain, like low back pain, and I need to take a bit of rest. I need to sit a bit more. I can't really walk much, or I need to take like those numbing gels and kind of like rub and massage the place. Like this is what the unaware person is going to do. Is not going to acknowledge the fact that he had something that was not great for his body, and then those were the consequences. The aware person, the self-aware person, on the other hand, is going to acknowledge the fact that, hey, maybe look, I ate this burger, and actually it's been a while since I haven't had like any type of food like this, or any sort of trans fats, or any sort of maybe gluten, because the buns are usually like, out of wheat, and of course this is gluten. So the aware person is gonna be like, oh, I don't feel very great. I have diarrhea, or maybe my gut is bothering me, or and I kind of like I have this low back pain, but I do know that I haven't had any gluten in a while, and yesterday I had this, so probably it could be this. It's very likely to be actually this. So I think I'm gonna take it easy for now. I'm gonna try to avoid it. I'm gonna try to not eat any gluten for a while, or maybe I'm gonna go like and have like a 24-hour fast or something like that, just to get the gluten kind of like just to get rid of the gluten and see if I'm gonna feel better. So maybe the like a day or two after, the symptoms gonna get better, and maybe next week you're going to like the aware person is going to acknowledge the fact that gluten did this to his body, but he won't be completely sure. So he would meet with his friends again, and he would go out and he would feel great for the week, but like being outside means that maybe he can try some other foods or some new recipes, and that new recipe is gonna happen to have gluten again, and the next day that person is going to feel the same way how he felt last week. So the aware person is now going to have uh, more extensive knowledge about how his body works, because now the aware person is going to know and is going to be sure that gluten is what makes his gut not happy. Gluten is what leads to gut inflammation, which therefore can lead to poor activation of the core muscles, which therefore can lead to a bad posture and low back pain. So instead of treating the symptoms that can come after eating gluten, the aware person is just gonna say, I acknowledge the fact that gluten makes me this way. I acknowledge the fact that I'm probably gluten intolerant, and I'm gonna make sure that I don't eat that much gluten anymore, because the more I eat, the worse I feel. Right? So this is the difference between the aware and unaware person. Like those both examples are perfect, because literally I've seen both. Like I've literally like I have friends which uh, they would always complain about something, and they would never know, or they would never learn, or never actually try to dig a little bit deeper into the problem and what actually caused that problem. Another example, and actually it's a brilliant example that I can give you, it's my grandma. Like my grandma, yes, she's old, yes, she's on a lot of medication, yes, she can't move that much, and she's got all of the stress in the world, but uh, she has she very often she complains that she has headaches, and instead of actually trying to look more deep into the problem, she read somewhere that solar flare, or which for those who don't know, solar flare is like it's kind of like a eruption of solar plasma which happens in the sun, and eventually the radiation can kind of lead like reach earth and can, well, it's true that can actually disturb some of the radio communication or whatever, but it's very less likely that someone's gonna have like a headache after or because of the solar flare, because like I mean, if that was the case, every single person probably in the world would have had like headaches. But anyway, my point is that my grandma read somewhere that solar flares are they can cause headaches. So uh, every other day she would come, because we used to live in like in Bulgaria, we live kind of in a big house, like three-store house, and we're on the second floor and she's on the first floor. So she would come up and she would say, hey, do you have like can you please make me a coffee, because I'm a bit tired today, and I don't feel very great, and I have a headache, but I know it's normal, like I took some painkillers or an ibuprofen, because there is a solar flare today and I do feel bad, and like my headache is not going away. It's normal, but there is a solar flare, so that's why I have a headache. So she's convinced that the reason for her headaches is the solar flare, and the only way to treat it is actually having painkillers. But for how long actually those painkillers are gonna help, or for how long the coffees that like she needs to go through the day are going to help, because like she doesn't acknowledge the fact that she's not sleeping very well because of the coffees that she drinks often, or not only the coffees. I mean, maybe like she doesn't really care much about food. Like yes, in my family it's very important for them to have like quality food and stuff like that, but they don't really know what quality food means, because they're always like uh, trying to buy expensive food, and food with food that is kind of like labeled as more healthy or whatever, but that doesn't mean that it's really great for your body, as you already know. So they don't really care much about like the food intake and what kind of food they're eating. And my grandma neither, for sure. She's not moving much. She reads all night because she can't sleep, and she uses this, it's a dim but still artificial light that bothers her eyes. And uh, I mean, I'm not saying that these are the only factors that might lead to her headaches, but my point is that it's very likely that some of those stuff are actually causing her chronic headaches, or migraines. So I think it's very worth looking into those stuff, and maybe trying to reduce the amount of coffee, trying to move a little bit more, trying to not watch TV all day long and read all night, because like you know if you try to just improve a little bit your quality of life, maybe your headache is gonna disappear. Like, if it doesn't, then for sure you should go to the doctor and check. But I don't think it's okay to uh, to kind of like acknowledge that you have a headache, but to feel like this is normal because there's solar flare, right? So she's very unaware of the fact that maybe some of her lifestyle choices are like causing her headache, and she chooses to treat the symptoms, and she chooses to just um, really be unhealthy. And my point is that, like, if she was a bit more aware, she would have looked a little bit deeper in like what actually can cause headache, or maybe what she can improve in her lifestyle into a pursuit of getting better. So my point is that the awareness can really benefit your quality or improve your quality of life, because being aware is going to make you realize that the choices that you make are greatly affecting your health and the way you feel. So this is going to help you not only want to improve, but improve for a good reason, and actually acknowledge, like I mentioned in the beginning, acknowledge the facts that uh, are really uh, important, and like acknowledge the changes, and instead of like being pushed or feel restricted, to actually really genuinely like learn to really want all those stuff. So I highly recommend you look a little bit deeper, and kind of like, look, the thing is, awareness is a skill, right? Awareness is not something that you can buy, or you can like just straight away improve, or like you cannot just become more aware straight away. No, it's important, it's impossible. Like, but if we talk about awareness, if we talk about um, those simple stuff, if we talk about how our body feels, if we talk about the fact that so many people are gluten intolerant, and it's worth actually checking the fact that maybe if you eat gluten, it's bothering your gut, for instance. I'm not saying that this is the biggest issue ever, but this is just my point, like, if I give you more examples, uh, like, I noticed that if I eat carbohydrates before going to bed, I don't sleep great. And every morning after I eat heavy carbohydrates before bed, I have headaches. I don't know exactly why is that, but I do know that my body doesn't work well in these conditions. So I'm doing my absolute best to avoid heavy carbohydrates before bed, or just in general to eat like at least 2 hours right before bed, 2 hours before bed, excuse me. But my point is that I'm trying to notice, or I'm trying to acknowledge those changes, and I'm trying uh, to improve. Yes, maybe I do want a piece of cake before bed because it's nice, because it's a dessert, but it's not gonna make me feel great. And I would like to wake up in the morning fresh. I would like to wake up in the morning energized. I would like to wake up with uh, like with the strive to win the day, not with the headache, because like when you wake up with a headache and not rested, I mean all the day is kind of like it's pretty much wasted. Like you don't have the same energy, you don't have the same motivation. Like what else? So there are a lot of examples like this, and I think it's important um, to not hammer ourselves because of the fact that we are not aware, or because of the fact that we're looking somewhere else. I think it's important to acknowledge the fact that awareness is a skill, it must be practiced, and it's something that, um, yes, it's something that can greatly benefit you, but it doesn't mean that it's something that you can just uh, clap your hands and change. So um, I'm gonna give you a couple of tips how to actually get more self-aware, and I'm gonna try to mm, kind of like, these are pretty much the ways that I use to mm, like I use with myself, and I try to help clients this way, because just for me I found out that those are the the stuff that really work, you know, those are stuff that are really um, they're worth kind of like looking into, right? So the first one is to look for a reason. I know it sounds very stupid, but look for a reason, really. um, every time something happen, and again it's a skill, it's something that like you need to work on. Maybe um, you can like print it, like, or like write it somewhere, or write it on your phone or whatever. But every time you feel different, or every time you feel like you have a headache, or you're not rested enough, or you feel like there is something wrong, look for a reason, really. um, it's it's very important, honestly. Like mm, try to, like, don't take things for granted, you know, like don't just like and by look for a reason, I mean like more look for a reason in yourself, you know. It's like if you didn't sleep enough, or you didn't sleep good, try to find out why you actually didn't sleep very well, you know. Was it because of I don't know, the solar flares, or the moon was in some weird position, or it was because you did something last night which disrupted your sleep, right? So this is what I mean by kind of like look for a reason. Mm, Whatever else happened in terms of like you can learn, you can look for a reason not only with this, like you can acknowledge, and this is a little bit kind of like part of the next point, but mm, looking for reason and not how to say, like mm, learning to find the reason, or this, like to find the probable cause, and more like looking for the reason in yourself. It's way more important, and it's highly beneficial, and it's a great practice to get more self-aware, because most of the time, believe it or not, our actions are the ones that determine the outcome the day after, or the day after that, or in general. And like, yeah, with food it might take like a day or two until you see like some sort of disruption, but it's there. With movement, it's there as well. Like, just look for a reason. For instance, for me, I found out, I told you in the last, I think 2 episodes ago or something like that, I was recently diagnosed with disc herniation, and I was told to not move. But I noticed that if I don't move, I mean, I was advised not to not move. I was advised to not go to the gym and lift heavy. And I noticed that if I don't go to the gym and practice some of those staple exercises, I don't feel great. So I changed it, and all of a sudden I kind of like, I got better. I felt way less pain. So uh, just look for this kind of stuff, and to find the reason why, like what did it change, and if something changed, how did that make you feel. It's great because it's going to benefit you tremendously. Really, it's a great exercise that you can practice in order to learn this skill. Moving forward, the next one is feel and acknowledge, and this is very connected to the first tip. And what I mean by uh, feel and acknowledge, it's well, after looking for a reason, or maybe um, throughout looking for this reason, it's very important to feel how your body works, or feel how your body kind of feels, and acknowledge those stuff. Instead of hammering yourself, just acknowledge how those stuff made you feel. And uh, here is a great way to actually mention that, and I'm gonna kind of go through quickly through this, but guys, if you really struggle or want to get a little bit more self-aware, go to my website, free resources, and download the awareness journal. um, this is a great way to learn to feel and acknowledge. This is a great way to feel how food in particular can change the way you live in general. And um, it's a journal, which means that for a little while you will have to actually record certain stuff, and like you will have to commit to um, to think about that process. But this is why actually, like, it's great, because if you are able to commit to this process, this is going to help you so much to actually feel and acknowledge. It's going to help you with the first point, where you actually need to look for a reason, because you're gonna have a perfect written example of yourself, or like a case study of yourself, and you are going to be able to see how food literally affected your stuff. So uh, the awareness journal, you can follow it for a week or two. I recommend at least 2 weeks. So like for 2 weeks you can actually really get a good vision of how everything works. But I'm gonna quickly give you an example, and like kind of like show you what it is. So what it is basically is like an Excel sheet. They're like two small spreadsheets. The one is the food track, and the other one is the feeling track. So the first one, I want you to record your food, but I don't want you to record like specifically or strictly like how much of your food of the food you ate. But it could be something like, for example, in the morning around 9 o'clock, I ate 3 eggs with 2 pieces of bread. Then for a snack, after, or as a dessert, I had like a tiramisu, so like I had a piece of that, not like how much of tiramisu you had, just a piece. And then in terms of drink, I had water. Then around 11 o'clock, I felt hungry again, so I had 2 biscuits and 4 pieces of chocolate, for example. And then a can of Coke, because I felt like thirsty and I wanted to drink something fizzy. Then for lunch, I had chicken and steamed vegetables. That was nice. And then I had chocolate brownie and like a latte, for example. Like, see, like stuff like that. Just roughly what type of food do you eat, not how much did you eat, or like the exact amount of calories or stuff like that. So why do we need it? We need it because this is going to teach you how your body works in terms of food. This is going to teach you actually how to implement proper food habits, or this is going to give you a way, like this is going to give you the proper information you need to then come back and cross-reference this information and see, oh well, when I had this, I felt this way. When I had that, I didn't feel this way. And here it is, the second part. Like the second part at the end of your day is like, in addition to writing about what you ate, is to write about how you feel. So there's the second table, the second like spreadsheet, if you will, um, it has 5 different aspects. It has energy, mood, stress, pain, and sleep. So I want you to kind of acknowledge and give a score from 1 to 10, and kind of like acknowledge how, just to kind of like write down in the additional info section how you felt throughout the day. Like for instance, with the energy, give it a score from 1 to 10 how you felt. For example, today I felt at 8. I had not excessive amount of energy, but it was pretty good. And additional info, well, I managed to walk 10,000 steps today and I felt great. In terms of mood, I felt maybe 7. I was happy and motivated, but it wasn't like all over the, like the, the things, or I wasn't like in the seventh sky or something like this. Then stress, you can say like, you can give it a score again. Then you have, I mean, you should give it a score, I'm sorry. And like, then you have pain, then you have sleep. So give a score, and then like give an additional info to know actually why you had those stuff. For example, pain, you had like, you gave a score, or like a score of 4 because you had slight knee pain when you were walking. It wasn't too bad, but still, like, it was there, you see. So when you complete those 2 weeks minimum of track, you can come back and cross reference and see, for example, okay, like the days when I had heavy carbohydrates late at night, for instance, I didn't sleep very well, and I didn't have very good energy, and I didn't have, like, then everything was affected. But the days when I had a bit of more, for example, vegetables, and I didn't drink that much coffee, um, it was easier to fall asleep, so sleep was way better. The next day I didn't have much pain, and maybe my mood was better. You see what I mean? So being able to record those stuff is going to help you to become more self-aware, and is going to help you actually learn more about yourself and more about your body. So the way I was able to learn actually about how my body felt when I'm eating heavy carbohydrates or whatever was actually this. Like, I followed a strict, no, it's not a strict journal, but I had my journal and I was writing down um, the different things that I ate throughout the day, and then I acknowledge, and I felt, and I acknowledge. I was like, okay, so if this is what happens if I don't eat carbohydrates late at night, I feel good, and if I eat, then I have headache. So, like, I know how nice or how easy would it be if I just tell you, like, yeah, eat this and eat that and eat this way, so you're gonna feel great, because your body is different. Like, yeah, I can tell you how trans fats can affect you, or I can tell you how too much sugar can lead to diabetes, for example, or less movement can lead to that, but I can't really, to really improve your quality of life, I can't tell you which what steps to take exactly, because uh, I mean, I'm trying to actually give you the steps, but I can't tell you exactly what your body needs, because this is your job. Like, I need to give you the steps in order to learn how your body uh, works, but what exactly your body needs, it's all up to you to find out. And if you don't manage to find out what your body needs, you will never be able to actually truly improve your quality of life. And this is actually brings me to the third point, which is strive for self improvement. Like, if you want to improve your lifestyle, if you want to feel better, if you want to have less pain, if you want to have better sleep, if you want to have more energy, then you would try different stuff. Then you would try, like, you will research, and you will commit to see actually why you feel this way, and you will commit to writing that journal, and um, you will actually acknowledge how that makes you feel. So strive for self-improvement. I know it's not that easy to just implement it in your lifestyle, but strive for self-improvement is, even though it's uh, one of the stuff that everybody pretty much wants or needs, it's um, it's not that easy to just like, you know, clap with your hands and all of a sudden become more aware and start to want to improve yourself more. But like if you actually uh, manage to convince yourself that you do want to get better and you truly want to get better, not just like to get better by taking a painkiller and like avoiding the pain or avoiding the root cause of the problem, to actually like really improve your quality of life, then you will be motivated to actually go and research a bit more and look into those stuff and maybe listen some more like professionals talking about how to do it or whatever, and then you will be able to improve it. Then you will be able to gain more like self-awareness. And look, self-awareness, again, it's not something that you can just find somewhere. It's not something that you can it's not like the food that you can say, okay, from today I'm gonna stop eating fast food and that's all. It's not this way. Like self-awareness works very differently. It's super hard to manage to implement it. It's a habit, and like every single habit, it takes so long to be implemented. It takes so long to learn to actually use it. Like if you look how actually we learn stuff, you will find out that it's pretty hard, and I will talk about it later in another episode. But there are 4 stages of actually learning something, and in the beginning, you you don't know that you don't know, right? And at the end, like you don't know that you know, like from from being completely unaware of something, uh, you go through the process, and then at the end of like that process, when you're truly an expert of what you learned, you do it as a default because like you spend so much time trying, and now that's a new habit. So awareness is the same. It's not something that you can just change all of a sudden. It's something that you have to work for. So I highly recommend you try. I highly recommend you try the awareness journal. It's really gonna help you improve a lot and get more self-aware. And uh, along that, you can actually. It's for me personally, it works great to use the awareness journal for a week and then follow the healthy eating guide, because this way you're gonna notice how your body worked for that week, and then you're gonna see how your body works when you're actually following like a healthy diet and stuff like that. But still, that doesn't mean that following the healthy diet is gonna be great, because following the healthy diet is gonna eliminate all the processed food and all the toxins. But like you still have a long way to go to determine actually which foods are great and when to eat those foods. Like I mentioned, there's great carbohydrate sources, but if I eat them on the wrong time of the day, I'm not gonna feel great. So again, it's all up to you to decide. Head over to fitlifeblueprints.com, go to free resources. All the guides there are available for free to be downloaded and to serve you some sort of purpose, to benefit you somehow. And this is why I have the podcast here, to, even though it's a bit weird, even though like it might not be exactly clear, I try to make it as detailed as possible, and I try to just really help you benefit somehow from it. Um, if you like the information I provide you, again, head over to fitlifeblueprints.com. You can read my blog. There are a lot of articles that I try to explain in details all those stuff that I talk about. There also you can find my ebook, and if you're really interested and looking for kind of a guide that can uh, like show you the steps, or like be there throughout your fit life journey, this book could be a great source. You can also work with me. You can hire me as your online coach. If you feel like the information I provide is valuable, if you feel like you can benefit from actually hiring me as your coach, you can give me a call, and you can schedule actually a call, and we can talk about what you want to talk about, and you can decide whether you actually want to work with me or not. All the stuff I do except mm, the online coaching is absolutely free, and I'm trying to benefit as many people as possible. I try to give you as much information as possible for free, and if you think that working with me in person or actually online can benefit you way more, or can help you improve faster and implement all those stuff that we talk about, uh, give me a call and let's discuss different options, and let's kind of get to know each other more, and like that you will be able to decide whether you actually want to work with me or not. So this is it for today. I hope you enjoyed this podcast, and until next time, see ya. Thank you for tuning to Fit Life Radio. I hope you learned something useful, or at least had a bit of color to your commute. If you enjoyed the show, please share the love by introducing it to friends and family. And if you don't mind, please leave a review on your favorite podcasting app. Thank you for your support, and until next time, stay fit.